Sorry guys, I'm so sorry. I just realized I was still muted. There you go. You should hear me now. I was talking to myself. Anyways, I will be your host for tonight. Jakub is unfortunately not here. He's handling some stuff in the background. There is a slight echo, I believe. 1 second. Okay, hopefully that's better. Yeah, sorry guys. Had some difficulties there. But yeah, we're doing it live. And that's all that really matters. Anyways, as always, if you've got some questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. But yeah, let's have a look at the campaign page so far. And there we go. So obviously, we blew past our expectations by quite a bit. As we can see, we've only got a whole 36 minutes left of the campaign, and we reached 85,000, which is quite a lot. It's definitely surpassed our expectations, and because of that, I believe we do have another stretch goal planned. There we go, the land shark. It's actually we're already 3k off of it, which is quite impressive. I only just got here. I wonder if we can have anything else in store. Probably not, but yes. As you guys can see, we do have the Roton promo model unlocked. For now, we only have this art from... this is mainly just stuff we already had on hand, that we had ready. Which is why we're only just showing this off for now. Obviously, the miniature isn't ready yet. As usually the case with stretch goals, a lot of it can sometimes be unplanned. But as soon as we have that miniature ready, it is sculpted, we'll definitely show it off. Yeah, same with the land shark, of course. Once we have that ready, we'll definitely show it off to you guys as soon as we can. So yeah, Fred asks, who is the pilot for the land shark? Well, it's obviously one of the fighting foemen. That's the in-game explanation we have for it, I guess. Clint says, I can sculpt it for you real quick if you need. I appreciate the offer, but we do things in a special way. There's a really good video from Goobertown Hobbies that goes over like what goes into the process of sculpting miniatures for plastic injection. But there's a lot of stuff that you just won't really see on the sculpt that affects the way we have to make the model, which is why we don't really, even when we do work for like other companies, we obviously we have to touch up the model at times to make sure that nothing really breaks when we're trying to make it into a sprue. So Simon asks, when are we able to use the Army Builder app? Well, we don't have an exact date at this moment. It's going to be a lot of work, definitely. But it should be ready for when the pledges ship, the main pledges. Because we're going to have the split shipment or the rapid delivery or legacy shipping first. So stuff that we already have produced, we have on hand. We're going to ship those out first. And then when it's time to ship the rest of the pledges, so the stretch goals and all the new stuff, the app should be ready by then. Mr. Bonji asks, so with pledges, you can always upgrade in the pledge manager if you decide to go. Yes, you can always upgrade the pledges in the pledge manager. The pledge manager obviously is something that we launch usually a couple weeks or a couple months after the campaign is over. I believe we have it shown on the project page right here. When we go to our timetable, it should be right here. Yeah, so campaign start, campaign end, this is today. Pledge Manager opens on the 16th of July, so this is where you'll be able to edit your order. Also, this is where you provide your address and all that good stuff. Kyle asks, when will the legacy items be available for purchase on Amazon for Canada? That's a very good question. We'll have to, hopefully Jakub will be able to answer that one, because I don't really have too much information. Or if Marcin, if he's here, then he'll be able to answer that one. When it comes to retail-related stuff, I don't have too much insight into it. But I believe it probably will be soon-ish. I know we're currently talking about it, with the people that will handle the Amazon shop, I believe. Gretar asks, what's the purpose of the promo models? Yeah, so promo models, they're usually slightly more special miniatures. They're usually lower in availability. You won't usually be able to buy them in retail. Usually, whenever we go to a trade show, we make them available either at the trade show or through our online store. Obviously, for the duration of the trade show. And they're miniatures that, either you have the mounted miniatures, obviously, He-Man with Battle Cat, Skeletor with Panther, and those kinds of stuff. They're just mainly meant to be special miniatures that you can sometimes acquire. They have obviously different abilities and that kind of all that good stuff. They're completely separate, so like the regular version. They actually have the special bases usually, where they take up like an entire quadrant instead of just one hex. Definitely recommend looking at them if you're interested. Yeah, so as the CEO confirms in the chat, we're still working on Amazon. ETA is 1 to 2 months. Swiftbell says, we need Fields of Eternity available for the rest of the world. Yeah, we're working on that. Next year, it's possible we might work on Fields of Eternity next year. We're still looking into it if we have, if something else possibly can take up that time slot. So we don't have any concrete plans for now, but we'll definitely look into it. Rick asks, are there any characters or vehicles that didn't make it into this campaign for one reason or another that you plan on bringing out later? Well, we're always planning stuff. I think that's important to know. Battleground, as long as you guys are still around and supporting the game, we obviously keep planning on releasing more content. We're already technically for retail, it's like 7 waves in already, which is a lot of releases, actually. But yeah, we plan to keep releasing more good stuff, more characters and whatnot. So as for specific characters and vehicles, we have looked through quite a bit. We have, for our other game, Fields of Eternia, we already have a lot of assets for that game, and sometimes we can look through, if we're just looking for ideas on what to include, we can just quickly pop into that, see what we haven't released yet for Battleground, and, obviously, the art and the miniature, obviously, it's going to be completely different. Well, there's a lot of miniatures that, there's a lot of cards that don't have miniatures in Fields of Eternia as well. Which is obviously, it gives us a lot of options for stuff we can make. Oh, and the Land Shark is funded. Congrats, guys. And there we go. Now that should be all the stretch goals, unless, sometimes sometimes I know the CEO likes to add in random stretch goals here and there. If we're, past all our expectations for the campaign. Like the Land Shark, by the way. But yeah, that should be all the stretch goals for now. Yeah, huge congrats, guys, obviously. The campaign definitely blew past our expectations. I know I'm going to keep repeating that, but, it's still pretty surprising. Definitely for me and the team, I think. Toy Soldiers asks, can we get some fun rules for Adam, such as a cheaper character that can transform into from turn 3 onwards, when he's out of line of sight of other characters? That's a question for Jacek, our rules designer, but generally he was just meant to be like an alternate miniature for He-Man. But that's it's something that Jacek maybe can look at, or like if we decide it's something that we want to do, we can obviously do that. But there's no plans for that at the moment. We need big sets like Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain with new boards, says George. That's an idea. We have the Castle Grayskull Dice Tower right now available. But yeah, I have seen a lot of people asking for more big terrain. And that's not in the scope of this campaign, I don't think. If anything, it would have to be in the Pledge Manager. We will release a survey sometime after the campaign is over, where you'll be able to leave your suggestions and whatnot. So yeah, if it's something that you really want to see, I definitely recommend leaving it there. Tell me, will anything be released for the game this year? Is the game frozen until Game Plan release? I believe Jakub said we may release one promo model last live stream. I'm not sure if that's still, you know, the current information we have on hand. If that's still true. But yeah, we'll have to see. This is obviously, you know, a big campaign. There's a lot of releases at one time, which overall can limit the the amount of stuff we can release into retail during this time. But yeah, it's something that I think is still relatively important. Oh, there you go. There's a response from the CEO. Big terrain in the future, interior of the castle with the next secret Motu project. There you go. That sounds interesting, definitely. Mikey and Louis asks, after the campaign is over, will you be able to still add more to your pledge? Yeah, so right now, where we are right now, it's just the pledge manager. Sorry, it's just the campaign. After the campaign, like a couple months or a couple of weeks after the campaign is over, we'll go into the pledge manager phase where you'll be able to add more stuff to your pledge or edit it. And this is also where you provide your address. It also lets people that didn't join during the campaign, it lets them late pledge, so they can still participate. Obviously, it won't contribute to like overall stretch goals and that kind of stuff. But if they miss the campaign, they'll still be able to grab the game and obviously the stretch goals as well. Will any future promos will they be available on Amazon for North America? That's a good question, because usually the promo models are only available when we go to a trade show and only on our online store. Now, if that also counts as Amazon for that time, that's a very good question. I'd probably say no, but it's obviously something that we have to look into and discuss with the team. But you know, you will always be able to grab it through our online store if it's something that really interests you. Mikey and Louis says, we would like to get a second dice tower. Easy access to multiple layers, everything looks great, looking forward to it, yeah. Definitely something to consider as well. We've also have had talks with the team internally about designing a second dice tower. And it's something that's definitely, like, we obviously already have a couple ideas, but again, it's not likely to be in this campaign. Obviously, you know, if something really repeats itself a lot of times, especially in the surveys, it's something that we will take a lot more seriously, and it's a lot more likely to be added then. So yeah. Bobcat says, so is there any reason to pledge now instead of late pledge? Well, the reason you want to late pledge now is there are a couple of different reasons. So for example, it obviously, you know, it has the stretch goals. We do probably already have everything unlocked, but there's also another reason, and that's stretch pay. Stretch paying now gives you more time to pay if you also decide to add legacy shipping to your pledge, because your pledge, the legacy product side of your pledge, it won't be shipped until your pledge is fully paid off. If you choose to purchase with stretch pay. So I believe we have it set to 6 months, which splits your payment into 6 separate payments. You can also choose to pay more of it upfront, of course. So you know, you can choose to stretch pay now for a couple of months, and then when it's time for legacy shipping, you can just choose to pay the rest of your pledge off, and we'll ship it. We'll ship the legacy part of your pledge right then and there, because otherwise you'll have to wait until it's all paid off. Mr. Bonji asks, is it possible to play 2v2? Yes. With this campaign, we're actually going to be slightly changing the core rulebook and adding rules for 2v2 and vehicles in the core rulebook. Because I believe they were part of a different expansion previously. But we will just be moving that to the core rulebook and slightly touching it up, so it's more clear, of course. Yeah, and another question, do we have 4-player rules from Simon? Yes, there are 4-player rules. Jake asks, might there be more alternate terrain boards, like forest and swamp, etc.? Possibly in the future again. This is also a lot of stuff we have talked about. It's a little bit unfortunate that we are somewhat limited in what we can release with this campaign. There are a lot of ideas that we really want to use, that we see and we really like them. But we're not able to do everything, unfortunately. We're trying to do as much as we can with what we have. But yeah. Definitely in the future, if anything. What items do not ship with legacy shipping, and when does the rest get shipped out? Yeah, so this information is on the campaign page. When it comes to stuff that's legacy, yeah, right here, this section right here on the campaign page, we have legacy shipping. So it's an optional add-on that you can add to your pledge. Please note that this is not the cost of shipping. This is only the cost of splitting your pledge into 2 separate shipments. So you'll have to still pay shipping in the pledge manager once it opens. And all of these products, so everything up to wave 7, it is legacy shipping, including all of these promo models, as well as the Castle Grayskull and these mana tokens. Yeah, all of this is legacy shipping. And for the exact shipping time, it will be in the timetable here. So you can see legacy shipping is 21st of August. And if your pledge is fully paid off by this point, then it will be shipped. Or it will obviously start shipment. Shipment will obviously take, you know, a couple of weeks to a month, or maybe a month and a half, depending on how many legacy shipping pledges we need to ship. But this is generally the time we want to start shipping by. And March 2025 is when we plan to ship the rest of the pledges. So anyone that didn't purchase legacy shipping, or people that have it but don't have the stretch goals and the new content yet. Yeah, stretch goals will not be part of legacy shipping, that is correct. Because there's a lot of new stuff that we obviously need to make with the stretch goals, and well, it's obviously not ready yet. Everything else it's already made, or it's ready to be made actually, because we have everything we need in our in-house factory, and I know I do repeat this quite often. But yes, we do have everything in-house for this product, for this game. Sorry, I should say. So there's no real need to worry about delays about China and delays about shipping. We have full control over the process, which really it's a huge blessing actually. It's really allowed us to do some amazing stuff over the years, like, you know, actually ship campaigns earlier than expected, which you don't get to say often when it comes to crowdfunding. And I personally hope we're able to ship early, although it's not always possible. There's a lot that goes into making a campaign, and well, we have to just be careful to not put too much on our plate at the same time. Will the new rules be available as a PDF before pledge shipment in March 2025? That depends. I don't actually think. Well, we might have the rules available on our website actually. It's possible. I would say they should be available. That's what we usually do with our other games. But yeah, I think they should be available during that time. Swiftbell says, on your website, there's a core box and 1 expansion for Fields of Eternia. Is that all that's been released? I'd love to transfer it an all-in. I believe we have 2 other expansions for Fields of Eternia, but they haven't been released to retail yet. We may release it to retail in the future, but again, mainly with this campaign and in this year, we're focusing on Battleground mostly. But next year, it's possible that we may look at Fields of Eternia and run a campaign for that game. Obviously, touch it up as much as we can and see where it takes us. We've never had figures that come on a sprue. Is there any suggestions on how to remove them carefully? Yeah, so generally you want to use some clippers, some hobby clippers. There are like plenty you can find online. You will need... I don't recommend buying the cheapest pair, but you also don't need like the most expensive stuff. I don't know who buys premium clippers, but you know, maybe you'll find some freaks like that. Yeah, you'll want some clippers, some decent ones, nothing too special, nothing too fancy. You just want to grab them by the side, just clip as close as you can to the connection point. Not too close to, you know, remove details, but you want the flat side to be next to the connection point, and you can clip it that way. I do also recommend you use plastic cement or plastic glue. It's also known as that. And what it does is you don't want to apply too much because it's actually a solvent, not an adhesive. So it will slightly melt the plastic. Then it will bond together, creating a really strong bond. And yeah, this usually, you know, lets you have really durable miniatures because stuff like glue is an adhesive, so it can still come off after some time, or if you know, drop it hard enough. When can we see Yatek in a live stream? He makes a great job. Yeah, that's a good question. The thing is with these live streams is usually they're quite late. So it can be a bit more difficult for people to come. But yeah, I think it would be a really good idea. I think in general, anything that allows people to have more connection to the developers and speak with them, I think is really good. It's really great, positive. Which is why I definitely recommend visiting the Board Game Geek forum. Sorry, Board Game Geek forum. Yeah, Yatek is very active there, and he replies to pretty much any question you can have about the game. But yeah, you know, we can consider having him on during a live stream. Will the pledge manager allow swapping pledges? Yes. You can swap. Okay. You can swap your pledge. You can increase it, upgrade it, whatever you want, as long as the value is if you've already paid, of course. If the value is the same or greater, then you can change it. If you want to lower your pledge, there's usually some difficulty in that, and we will have to refund it manually if you've already paid for it. But if you just want to increase the general size of your pledge, then there shouldn't be any issues with that. Do you recommend cracking a window when using glue, or keep windows shut? Well, obviously, some ventilation can never be really bad when you're working with chemicals. But plastic glue isn't that expensive. Our materials aren't toxic either. You know, usually with PVC or resin especially. Actually, with resin you have to be very careful because it can definitely be toxic. But we're using high impact polystyrene, so there generally shouldn't be any issues with like, you know, particles, with toxic particles. But you know, it's still glue, it's still a chemical. You can always have a window open if you can. It's always a good idea. But it's not something that should kill you outright if you have a whiff, I guess. Yeah, when is it expected that we'll see Roton and Landshark preview models? As soon as we can. Usually, I'd say it takes about a week for us to have a sculpt ready, and then probably another week to, or well, up to a month sometimes, for it to go through the approval process. So you can probably expect it in an update soon. We're obviously, you know, hoping to have it done as soon as possible so we can show it off. But yeah, I'd say from 2 weeks to a month, possibly more. But it shouldn't be too long. We'll definitely show it off in an update whenever we can. Yeah, Ruby Ramon asks, what about tournament play, competitive play? Yeah, we do organize tournaments quite often, actually. Just recently we finished the Polish national tournaments, And currently, I believe there are national tournaments going on for Germany and Spain. We recommend reaching out to us if you're interested in running a tournament. We run not only the national tournaments, but also local tournaments. So if you've got like a friendly hobby shop near you, and you want to host a tournament there, have them reach out to us. We'll send them like all the stuff they need, and you can organize a tournament that way. How many different sketches or sculpts do you make before settling on the final sculpt for a miniature? Yeah, so usually it's only one, I'd say, but it goes, well, when it comes to like IP products, usually it's only one, but it usually goes through a lot of approval processes. So, you know, the person that holds the IP, they obviously have to look at it a couple times to see through if everything matches, if everything's correct. And if there needs to be some corrections, we will make those, and then we'll send it off again. And if everything's correct, then, you know, we show it off as soon as we can. Yeah, different sketches and sculpts. Yeah, the thing is, it's very time consuming to make alternate sculpts and alternate sketches. Not as much so for sketches, but definitely for sculpts. I am aware of some campaigns that, you know, offer alternate sculpts and let backers choose with like a vote. That's not really something that we do for our campaigns. A lot of our campaigns revolve around you know, like a well-known series or a game, and if we were to make alternate sculpts, well, usually a lot of times it's not possible even. But also trying to, you know, approve all of that, it can just be way too time-consuming, and it's just not really feasible. What about the limited edition mana tokens Champion Edition? Since they cannot be added as a standalone add-on, will changing the pledge to Captain add them retroactively? Yes. So for people that already have the Captain pledge, you won't see it in your pledge right now, but I believe it will be added to your pledge manually or automatically when we go to the pledge manager. So you'll still definitely get it. There should be no issues there with that. Ariel asks, will there be tournament play in the US? Yes, that is planned. And if you're interested in organizing a tournament, we definitely recommend, again, reaching out to us. We're still looking for a lot of people that are willing to organize tournaments. And we're definitely willing to, we're more than happy to support the tournament scene. Obviously, you know, we're hoping it develops as we go on. I think introducing the game to North America and Canada and New Zealand, it's going to really bring in a lot of life into the game. And a lot of interest, obviously, more tournaments and stuff. Do you have to be a store shop owner? Generally speaking, yes. We don't really organize it for you know, like smallish, medium, like just gaming groups. If you own like a hobby store and you want to organize a tournament in that shop, then yeah, we do support that. But if you're just like, you know, if you just have a big friend group, then we don't really do tournaments in those cases. You know, you're obviously more than welcome to, you know, run your own tournament among your friends. We're not stopping you there. 10 minutes of the campaign left. Yeah. Just have to double check if we don't have any more stretch goals, because, you know, you never know. Yeah. This does appear to be the final stretch goal. I can't be sure myself, unfortunately. Giraffe says, we should start planning a tournament in the Castle Grayskull laser tag building in the Arizona Mass Hell theme park. That's a good idea. Yeah, definitely reach out to us if you actually get something organized. Do I reach out to you through email or Discord for tournaments? I definitely recommend through email. For Discord, it's a lot harder for us to forward that message to someone in the team that will actually look at it. If you reach out to me, the most I can really do is just like I'll send a screenshot off to someone in the team, and then I'm gonna have to ask for your email either way, and then or give you the email to reach out to someone, and it's just like it's a bit of a waste of time for everyone. So I do recommend reaching out to email through email, so we can just get it to the person that needs it as soon as we can. Apart from what we see here on GameFound, when will we see new waves for the game? When it comes to new waves, most likely after we finish shipping this campaign. There's a lot of work that we need to do with this campaign, and it's obviously going to take some time away from these retail releases that we usually release every so often. So we can probably expect them to see them after we finish shipping. Obviously, because we're making everything in-house, I am hoping that we will be able to ship everything earlier. No promises, of course. But yeah, seems like the CEO said right here, new waves for Q1 and Q2 of 2025. And that's more or less when we plan to start shipping as well. So yeah, it more or less lines up with that. Yeah, 6 more minutes till the end as well. Very impressive result, as you guys can see. Okay, Mikey and Louis says, or asks, will there ever be a recon to any cards in the game? And will there be an option to get replacement cards or download them? I'm assuming you're talking about rebalancing cards, so, if we decide that like a design is unhealthy or something like that. And generally speaking, we're not planning. I don't think we don't have any plans for that at the moment. The thing with this game is that it's a living game, as we've mentioned a couple times. So you can head over to our page right here into the download section. Head over to Battleground, and right here we have the cost tables. So if we feel that something is too weak or too strong, we can always change these numbers right here. The cost for each unit or character, and the cost for each item as well. As you can see right here. And this is generally how we're balancing this game. So if we see that something that's just dominating, then we will just adjust the costs. But generally speaking, apart from that, we don't have plans for redesigning cards. There's also a lot of work involved. Like we do a lot of playtesting. Well, Yatek, obviously, spends a lot of his time doing playtests, making sure that everything's balanced, and introducing like alternate versions or that kind of stuff. It can really take a lot of time away from development time. When instead we could just be releasing new characters, which will obviously be more interesting for other people. This has to be a record on GameFound. Well, when it comes to records, I mean, the campaign definitely did quite well, I think. But there have been larger campaigns on GameFound, but it's definitely up there. Our campaign is definitely up there. Funny story, actually. We do have another record on GameFound, and that is for being the first company, other than Awakened Realms themselves, for being on GameFound. We were actually the first company to use GameFound as a pledge manager. Which is, that's a fun record to have. Great to see you're creating a web app for the game. If you need any testers, count me in. Yeah, we may do like a tester program. I think that's a good idea, actually. Having like a small pool of testers that just checks if everything's correct. We'll have to look into that. You mean too bad? Yeah, that's good. Will the Army Builder application have a browser version, and or will we be able to print force lists? There's a lot of stuff I think that's still relatively undecided for the application. So there's a lot of room for us to add stuff and decide on what we want to have. But I mean that's something to consider. Having the ability to print lists. I think a browser version is definitely needed, though. I can't imagine having it just on phone. But that's again something that we have to discuss with the team, see what they have planned. Yeah, only 2 more minutes left, guys. 2 more minutes. Do you guys have any job openings? I can telecommute from Utah, but I've no creative or artistic abilities. Well, we don't really have job openings. Generally speaking, I believe we're only employing a couple of people abroad. We do have a decent chunk of our artists are work from home, I believe. We do have one person working from the UK, working in distribution, I believe. Although I'm not actually sure if that is the case. I believe there were some plans for that, but yeah, possibly in the future. We are looking to always expand, and we may need someone, you know, in the US. We don't have any job openings at the moment, though. Not in this minute. Oh yeah, CEO says we're building the USA sales team right now. And what is my favorite faction to play? Okay, I will be honest, I haven't played an awful lot, but I have played a couple times. I mean, to me it's just going to be... I actually have Wave 7 at home, so... obviously, I'm talking about the Great Rebellion, but, you know... I'd say that's probably, you know, my favorite faction. Don't hate me. Yeah, I'm on fire. Yeah, well, I mean, I encountered some issues on the way here. So, you know, I gotta speed through the questions as fast as I can. By the way, your plastic is higher quality than Games Workshop. Thank you. We have been working on making sure that our plastic is either indistinguishable or better than GW. Because, well, we always, you know, we have great respect for the market leader, but we think we can surpass them, and in some ways we have. When it comes to the technology we're using. Oh, and the campaign's over. There we go. 3,195 backers in total, raised over 80,000. Let's have a look at the comments here. Will Landshark be added as an add-on? Most likely yes, just in time. Yep, he's 2 minutes. Yeah, thank you. Where do the 31 cents come from? You know, that's a good idea. It's most likely from taxes though, because taxes are percent-based. It is weird for GameFound to display that though. So psyched for this, yeah. We got like a ton of stuff planned in the future as well. So, you know, apart from this campaign, there's a lot more they can be excited about as well. Once we finish delivering. Could we get a PDF paint guide? Yeah, so a paint guide would be quite a bit of work, but it's definitely something that's been repeated a couple times as well, not just for this campaign as well, because we also have other campaigns, like our Dungeons and Lasers line, where we only make miniatures, because it's just meant to be miniatures for tabletop games like D&D. And we do get a lot of people asking for a paint guide. Now, if it's something that we can make, it's definitely something to consider. I'll have to push the team on that, but it is also, you know, I don't know. It can be a bit difficult to organize something like that. It's a lot of work. Honestly, just a collection of the characters from the show as a reference would do it. Yeah, that's a good idea. You know, I feel like we should actually work together with the dudes from Army Painter. I think that'd be really cool to work with them to make a paint guide and even like include like a list of colors that we recommend using from them. But yeah, that's just one of my wild, crazy ideas. No promises, of course. We do love the guys from Army Painter, though. We're great friends with them. Do you know if anyone back from Vatican City since you delivered to there? Maybe the Pope, who knows? Hopefully the Pope. On those paint menus, would be great to help a colorblind person like me. Just learned the skeletal was not purple. Yeah, definitely. The thing with Army Painter's new Fanatic line is it's really cool because they have the thematic name for the paint, so it would be like something exciting. But on the side of the tube, they also have the regular name as well, like the actual artistic kind of, you know, scientific term. I'm not sure. Which definitely helps colorblind people to identify the bottle, what's inside, what color it has. The only piece I had some issues with while assembling was the Mini was the Trapjaw's gun barrel. It sort of broke, but was easily fixed afterwards. Yeah. So obviously, if you use plastic cement, you can glue pieces back together really easily, or combine them together really easily, as long as you don't apply too much, of course. Definitely one of the advantages of plastic, but if it's something arrives damaged, then we still recommend you reach out to us. If something is damaged during use, then yeah, you will have to use plastic cement to put it back together, but there shouldn't be too many issues with that. I'm going to be using these models with my DNL Caves pledge. That's great. That's definitely great. We love to see that. Considering stretch goals, should I buy a set of plastic tokens, add-ons, in order to save as many tokens as the cardboard ones? Oh, in order to have as many tokens as the cardboard ones in the starter box. That's the amount of tokens. I believe the amount of tokens in the plastic tokens. It should be enough for one player, to my knowledge. But if you want to buy more for more players, then that's something that you can do. Yeah, always bored, never boring. He has some cool tutorials, definitely. He's reviewed the game a couple times as well on his channel. And he also obviously has those cool painting tutorials, so you can definitely head over to his channel, give him a sub, watch a couple of his videos. Congrats, Aha. Hope we get Castle Mountain Dice Tower in the Pledge Manager. Yeah, sorry. Oh, voice crack. Oh, sorry. I think the mic broke for a second there. I hope we can get Castle Mountain Dice Tower in the Pledge Manager. Yeah. So for these kinds of that kind of stuff, we're definitely going to need more information on this from the survey on that. So sometime after the campaign is over, we'll release a survey. You can give us all the feedback you want, which includes stuff you want to see. And if we see a lot of stuff, like a certain thing repeating, then we'll definitely consider adding it to the Pledge Manager. If Legacy shipping is in August, when should we be seeing products arrive in the US? My only frame of reference is getting games shipped from China, so I was assuming October, but no idea how long it takes from Poland. So the thing is, we're not shipping from China, obviously, as the post mentioned. We ship it immediately from it comes from us directly to the courier. We don't need to rely on a logistics company to pick it up from the factory and then send it off to a courier. So it should just be like the regular shipping time of that pledge. So it'll probably, to the US, it'll probably take like a week to a month to ship from from our warehouse to the US. Are there other add-ons you suggest to get if you want multiple players to have everything like the plastic tokens? Generally speaking, no, not really. Everything we have in this pledge here, it should be more than everything. Obviously, you know, if you want to use the same faction against each other, then you'll have to purchase the same set multiple times. But if you just want one of everything, you know, have it make sense, I guess. Then yeah, this should be everything you really need. There aren't really any other add-ons that you want multiple copies of, unless of course, you know, you want more dice. But usually this should be more than enough dice. As for other add-ons, we don't really have too many add-ons that, you know, you need multiple copies of. Obviously, you know, we have rulers. There's 2 rulers here, and you only need 1 when you play. If you're playing with more people, then maybe you'd want a couple, well, another set of these rulers, or 2. They are available in the stretch goals as well. We also have these dice trays, so you know, you don't lose sight of your dice. You can buy a couple of these as well if you really want to. But yeah, other than that, not really. There are 108 assorted tokens in the core box, so you'll have you need more tokens than in the stretch goals to match that. Yeah, this is correct. You will need to purchase more copies of the tokens if you want more. Do we not have it? Yeah, we have these promo plastic tokens here. So if you want to have more players, obviously, use the plastic tokens, then you can purchase additional copies from there in the add-on section. Yeah, another person asking for some more map variety. Yeah, once again, this is a very common question, so I will refer to the team to, you know, look into it. These inch rulers, yes. These rulers, they are in inches. Inches is the general measurement for this campaign. It's actually interesting because the campaign wasn't released in the USA, but we're still using inches. It's just the standard, I guess, for the skirmish games and war games in general. It's just easier to use because people are already used to it. My brother is a big model collector, and so I have bought 2 of everything. One I paint as a hobby, and he keeps his sealed. That's cool. That's actually pretty cool. You have a brother that, you know, shares the same interests as you. Now that it's over, can we talk about can we add the add-ons like the tokens? Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, you have to wait for the pledge manager to launch. So it will launch, you know, a couple of weeks or a couple of months after the campaign is over. For any given campaign, for this campaign we have it on the in this section at the bottom of the page. Should be somewhere here. My apologies. This is the campaign end page, so you won't see it here, I don't think. The timetable. Yeah, the timetable. Oh, is it here? Yeah, okay. Timetable has been moved here, I believe now. So as you can see, Pledge Manager 16th of July. This is when you'll be able to add stuff to your pledge. Does it make sense to take legacy shipping during the pledge manager? Well, yeah, the pledge manager will open. Sorry, legacy shipping. It starts on the 21st of August. So if you make your pledge when the pledge manager first opens and you get legacy shipping, then your pledge will be shipped on the 21st of August. Starting from the 21st of August, we'll begin to ship these pledges. And if you purchase, obviously, a legacy shipping pledge, then it includes that one. It only doesn't make sense to add the legacy shipping add-on like past this date. Once we've finished shipping legacy shipping, because then we'll just move on to regular shipments in not too much time. Simon says, I would love more story-driven missions to play, different way to play the game. Yeah, this is also something I have I have made an offhand suggestion on this as well. It's something to consider, definitely. Maybe we'll add it in the future. Again, this is more of a question for Jakub, so if you're interested, if it's something that you'd be interested in, I definitely recommend leaving it on the Board Game Geek forums, because then it actually gets read by the developers, and if they decide that it's a good idea, they'll definitely be adding it to the game. Marcus says, I really hope you release some promos in between until you ship the game and the game found stuff, else we do not get new stuff for a long time. Yeah, so during the last live stream, Jakub did mention that we have possibly one promo model planned for during this time. I'm unsure if that's still the case, but I do think it'd be nice to see something, definitely, in between that time. But as for like an exact release schedule, we don't have something like that at this moment. But you know, if we do plan to release some stuff, we'll let you guys know, definitely, and you'll just be able to grab it through retail. Now that I can't track how this campaign is doing, what should I do with my free time? Well, that's a good question. Obviously, you won't be able to stalk us 100% of the time and see how we're doing. But we will release updates every 3 weeks, and the CEO also regularly does a 2-hour live stream. Sorry, I shouldn't say 2-hour live stream. It's meant to be 1 hour or something. But every 2 weeks, the CEO does a live stream, and you can ask any questions during that time. Anyone else not able to comment on the Discord? It's possible the server detected like an increased amount of people joining, and that has just caused the server to like temporarily halt because it sees it as suspicious behavior. So if you're new, if you have a new Discord account, or if you're new to the server, you maybe not be able to comment. But yeah, I'll look into it once this live stream is over. Can the Tyrannosaurus from Wave 2 be used in any of the faction's armies? I don't believe it has a point cost, and it has... I don't believe it has a point cost. I don't think you can use it, if I remember correctly. But, you know, as always, it's your game, it's your life. If you're just playing with a friend or with family, then I'm sure you can figure something out in that case. So here we have some questions from the comments as well. Yeah, I followed the campaign since the launch. I thought I'd be getting the Clay Roboto. Well, when it comes to the follower gifts, it should be immediately visible in your pledge, as it's a follower gift, I believe. So yeah, if you don't see it in your pledge, that does seem to be that is an issue. Because it's possible, you know, GameFound either didn't detect you, or you're following from a different account. In which case, I do recommend reaching out to us if you're following from a different account and accidentally back to a different account. Tyrannosaurus does have a point cost, but it's 100. Let me actually check the pages right here. Well, I don't see him anywhere here. Unfortunate. Yeah, free gift, robotic miniature and cards, terrain pieces. Yeah, if you have the follow gift, it should show up in your pledge. If it's not there and you follow the campaign before it launched, and again, this is only before the campaign launched. If you follow the campaign during the launch, then unfortunately you won't receive the follower gift. It's written in the Wave 2 rules. Okay, well, there you go then. Ah, unlucky. Anyways, I think we will be ending the stream here. Campaign's obviously, you know, over. We've reached a very impressive result, I think. Definitely exceeded our expectations, which is why we added, you know, a couple of stretch goals that we weren't planning for, but you know, as the CEO once said, every campaign is like operating on a heart. You know, it's a heart surgery, so you have to be very careful. Things change. Unexpected things can happen. Sometimes happy little accidents can happen, like, you know, adding in more stretch goals and whatnot. Like in this campaign, like in a lot of our campaigns actually. Yeah, okay. Thank you guys for joining us. Once again, we'd like to remind you, updates every 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks, there's going to be an update, and every 2 weeks, on average, the CEO does a live stream where you'll be able to join and, you know, ask any questions you want. Usually, he's a lot more knowledgeable, obviously, than me. He knows all the ins and outs of the company, what we can and can't do, and as well as our plans for the future. Because there's definitely a lot of stuff that's very exciting that, you know, obviously I can't reveal yet, but, you know, the CEO also does like to give some hints here and there, some spoilers, if you're astute enough to notice them. But yeah, thank you for coming by, thank you for watching, thank you for participating in the campaign, and we'll hope to see you in the near future on another live stream. Anyways,